So today we'll be talking about the history of the Yankees, the New York Yankees, sorry. And before I start, just wanted to say that at the end I'm going to flip it so you can see my works cited, my visual slide, and my talking points. So, so So today I will be talking about the New York Yankees and what people think about baseball. One of the first things that comes to mind is the New York Yankees. Even when people who do not watch baseball, they recognize the Yankee logo because it's one of the most famous symbols in sports. You see it everywhere, hats, buildings, pretty much a lot of the places you go, especially in the city, even some other cities around the world, world. The Yankees players have built a reputation for winning championships, producing, legendary players, and creating unforgettable moments for everyone, the team, fans, throughout baseball history. As someone who's followed baseball for years, I've always been interested in the history of the Yankees, and how they became so successful. So today I'm going to talk about how they got their start, some of the greatest players who wore the pinstripes, and the success and legacy that made them, one of the most famous team in sports, baseball, football, So the story of the Yankees began in 1901 when the franchise was founded by the Baltimore Orioles. A few years later, in 1903, the team moved to New York and became officially the New York Highlanders, not the Yankees, the Highlanders back then. In 1913, they had officially adopted the name the Yankees, so, 10 years later. But during these years, they were not, the powerhouse that they are today. They're not as good. They're, depends on who you like, but to me, they're not as good as they were. But the team struggled to find success. Was still trying to make a name for themselves in baseball back then. When it first started. But everything changed in 1919 when they acquired Babe Ruth from the Red Sox. According to the National Baseball Hall of Fame, Babe Ruth is one of the most influential figures in baseball in history. His incredible power and just the swing he had was, led their Yankees to their first world championship in 1923. And his impact on the organization was so significant that, the Yankee Stadium is now known as, Ruth's house, or the house that he built. As the years went on, the Yankees continued to add legendary players to the roster. Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, but all became big names, helped them win. Back in the 1940s, 50s, 60s. They not only contributed to the championships, but they helped, their reputation just a lot, just in general. The Yankees are, not only known as, their incredible success. They have won 27 World Series championships, which is more than any other team. And they have one of the largest fan bases in sports, have a lot of rings, a lot of famous players, even Aaron Judge today. The Yankees became a global brand, not just, the United States, but just global. Another part of the Yankees' history is the stadium. The stadium opened up in 1923, the original one, and quickly became one of the most famous venues in sports. People would travel all around the world to see them. Great team, great place. But in 2009, the Yankees moved into a new Yankee Stadium location, which is across the street from the other stadium. But it's still the same grounds, so it still honors everything that they built, back then. But in the end, the Yankees built a legacy that only few teams in sports, just in general, can match. Between the rings, the players, the history, just everything, honestly. I just think the Yankees the Yankees are one of the most influential, the most one of the greatest just franchises in the sports. From Baltimore Orioles when they made the team or bought the team, they consisted, throughout the years they consistently have great players. Aaron Judge now, but we can go back to Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Derek Jeter, Mo, or Mariano Rivera, with record 27 World Series championships. century of memorable moments. They continue to make a huge impact on sports and baseball. And the next time you see Yankees logo, just remember that it's more than a team, and it's history. It's one of the greatest sports teams to ever play, to ever be a team, I guess you could say. So that'll be it, but I will flip it around. This. So this is my visual slide, kind of just like writ stuff out. Yankees, Babe Ruth, Derek Jeter, the World Series championships, all those names. These are my talking points. Yankees founded, Babe Ruth changed franchise, Yankees legend, 27 titles, Yankee Stadium, the lasting impact. And then this is my works cited. It's probably a little difficult to see. Well, let me flip the camera, but yeah.